Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And in this video, we're going to be looking at Samantha's short stories. So the first one we're going to look at is The Missing Pearls. Now, I don't have a copy of that one. So in this story, this is when Nellie is working for the Van Stiltons. So this is still in the middle of her series where it's Christmas time and Miss Stilton gets these gray pearls and she finds them missing. So the girls go searching for them and they suspect the new handyman, and they end up by the coal chute thinking, okay, how would he have gotten into the house? And they end up running from him and his dog and end up going down the coal chute and finding the pearls because they're gray. These were what we call black pearls. One of my favorites. I love black pearls. I think they're beautiful. But Nellie finds them in the soot. And she says, I must have swept them up accidentally they must have fallen off her Miss Van Stilton's dressing table. And because they blended near the fireplace and Nellie swept them up when she was cleaning out the fireplace, and because they blended in, she didn't notice them. And then she took them downstairs to the coal chute. And so that's how they find them. So that's that short story. Then we have this one. This is Samantha's winter party. This is when Nellie's still working with the Stiltons, but they're ice skating with some of Samantha's friends. Nellie can only join them on Mondays and Fridays when she doesn't have as much work to do. But one of the other girls in Samantha's school invites them to her mother. They're doing a Christmas party, and her mother makes her invite everyone. But in her class, obviously she snubs Nellie because Nellie goes to the public school. So, and Samantha and some of her other friends aren't particularly happy about it. But Nellie feels bad because she can't afford to buy presents for the other girls. And at one point in time, Nellie has to figure something out. So she kind of hides from Samantha for a little bit. Sorry, there's noise in the background. But then she shows up to the party late and she brings the girls, and her father have like hung snowflakes and stuff in the backwoods kind of by the house to make it look like a fairy garden. So that's Samantha's winter party. Then we have Samantha's special talent. This is a cute book where Samantha's in the library with one of her friends and the roof starts leaking, and she decides to do a talent show, and she couldn't figure out her own talent in order to raise money to get the library a new roof. And what her special talent turns out to be is she organized the entire thing. So that's a cute little story showing Samantha's leadership skills. Then we have Samantha's blue bicycle. In this story, this is after Samantha, Uncle Guard, and Cornelia get married. I will cover that little book in just a second. And they brought bicycles back from Europe, and Samantha, they go riding, and Samantha's skirts get tangled and she falls and she's afraid to get back on again. And the bicycle's broken. Her Grandmary, who's kind of against bloomers and bicycling at first, gets her bloomers and encourages her to ride again. So, and so she's able to ride the bicycle. Her grandmother, you start really seeing Grandmary change just a little bit, which is more evident when we get to the mysteries. You see Grandmary loosening up a little bit. So, and then of mine, this is one of my favorites. So this is Samantha Saves the Wedding. So in this story, this is Samantha's, and as you can see, these are the twins, Cornelia's daughters. So it's the time of the wedding. The girls are going to be bridesmaids in the wedding. Hopefully we're not picking up too much noise. My child is being irritating. But they're shown Cornelia's veil, and they've been playing bride after that. But Cornelia has a younger sister who's, what is her name? She's like 3. Alice. And when they play bride, they don't have like sheets or something for Alice, and Samantha promises her next time. But after Cornelia shows them both the girls' dresses and her veil, she puts her veil in the sewing room. The day of the wedding, Alice finds it and cuts it in half and puts it on. So the way Samantha said, and so it's like her veil is destroyed. Samantha gets Uncle Guard and they go back to Bedford and get Samantha's mother's veil. And she loans that to Cornelia for her wedding. So that is how she saves the wedding. This is actually one of my favorite stories of them. So that is Samantha's short stories. I find them enjoyable. They're cute little entries into the world and different parts of the story. So that is it for this review. We will continue on with more of Samantha's stuff, and I will see you next time. Thank you.